We're all born with a powerful tool to navigate life, our own unique, reliable inner GPS, our intuition. But how do we know when it's our intuition speaking and not just our minds? That's one of the questions I get asked a lot, and I ask myself a lot, to be honest. So stick with me for the next 5 minutes and I will share some practical ways that you can be certain when your intuition is trying to get your attention. So the number one thing that you need to know when it comes to your intuition is that our intuition is quiet and subtle. It's not going to be some flashing neon light that goes off in your mind or a little voiceover going off in your head that says, "It's your intuition here, please take a moment to pay close attention." No. Intuition just doesn't work like that. It's not going to scream at us like our fear or excitement does. It has this really subtle, gentle, consistent message. A bit like the most gentle person that you can imagine. It'll keep subtly reminding you of what you need to know without hype, emotional judgment. It'll keep reminding you until you make a decision. You either follow your intuition or you choose not to. And that's totally up to you. So the second thing that will help you recognize when it's your intuition rather than your mind is that our intuition comes in with an objectivity. So by that I mean we don't have an emotional attachment or a reaction to the information that's coming in. So just like a GPS that you have in your car or on your phone, your intuition is here to guide you, align you, and provide you with the best possible path to take in life. So when we get an intuitive hit, we'll often experience this real sense of peace, neutrality, a real calmness about us. Even when it's information that we'd prefer not to know, you'll just have this overriding sense of peace and groundedness and this real knowing that it's right. So the third way that you'll know it's your intuition rather than your mind is that our intuition sort of hits us out of nowhere. It's that first awareness or that first response that you get before your logical mind has an opportunity to kick in. It can be a random thought that comes out of nowhere or interrupts you while you're doing something that's totally unrelated. This is because intuition comes from the subconscious part of our mind and bypasses the logical part of our brain. So it's more of an instinctive feeling rather than a conscious reasoning that encourages us to act in a certain way, often without any rhyme or reason or us even understanding the real reason why. So you may remember back to the beginning where I mentioned that intuition is consistent and gentle, and that's the fourth point I want to make. Our intuition is consistent and doesn't waver. It won't have us flip-flopping around, second guessing or questioning ourselves. The messages we receive from our intuition remain consistent over time. You'll often be drawn back to these messages in some way. So it might be through synchronicities that keep appearing, or it might be through interactions that you have with others that reminds you of your intuition, or it can be other ways like dreams or signs, or there's multitude of ways. But as I was saying, intuition is always consistent. The message doesn't change. So the final way that we can be certain that it's our intuition rather than our mind is that we can often experience a physical response when we get an intuitive hit. And one of the really common physical responses we can experience is those goosebumps. We get, that chills that we feel, all those angel bumps. I've heard them called angel bumps before. There can be other physical symptoms as well. So you might feel an expansiveness in your heart or a disturbance in the pit of your stomach, or even a real sense of ease and calmness and a lightness about you. And the purpose of those physical responses is to draw your attention to the here and now. And it's kind of like your body telling you, hey, there's something really important going on here. Pay some attention, Be aware of what's going on. And then it's purely up to you what you decide to do with that information, whether you decide to pay attention to it or whether you decide to let it slide. Whatever the case, you have free will. So there you have it, 5 ways that you can be certain that it's your intuition rather than your mind at play. I've got one final thing before I go. And that's this. The more that we acknowledge and act on our intuition, the stronger and easier it is for us to recognize it. It's a bit like our muscles. The more we use them, the stronger they get. And the same applies with intuition. So if you want to keep strengthening your intuitive muscle, subscribe and hit the bell below to receive notifications for when a new video is uploaded. And if you have a question that you'd like covered off in future videos, then go to the discussion tab here on YouTube and leave a question, or you can join me in the private Facebook group, the Intuition Hub, where I'll leave the link for that below, where you're more than welcome to ask questions or suggest topics that you'd like to hear in the future. So until next time, thanks for stopping by. Ciao.